Listen, hope gets a bad reputation. Oftentimes people, when they hear someone talk about hope, all they hear is, I'm too lazy to do things, I would rather someone else do something, I have no drive, I need to put all my eggs in the basket of something invisible and maybe it'll happen. Hope is not the enemy. The enemy is our perception of hope. In this video, I'm going to let you know what hope is and what it isn't, and if you're game, I think that we're going to start that now. Bob, every time I think about hope, I think about like Rocky and that Russian dude, right? Isn't that your brother? He looked like you though. He looked like you though, right? How'd you get that tall all of a sudden, bro? I actually feel like Rocky right now. Like I'm just like, yo. But you should be saying, I'm gonna break you, or like something like that, something like that. Are you Russian? Are you? Are you? Bro, did you? Oh, did you see that coming? That's what I thought. Thought. That's what I thought. What's up, y'all? This is your boy 210. If you're tuning into this channel and just happen to stumble across this channel, do me a solid. Please subscribe down below and hit that notification bell, which so happens to be on my soon to be replaced friend, Bob. Yes, I'm going to replace him with either a punching bag or tires because I can't keep staring at that face. But if you're back, thank you so much, because in all honesty, there really is no channel without you guys. The problem is that hope today is often categorized as something of weakness. Whenever someone says that they hope for something to happen, all individuals are hearing is that that person is waiting for that thing to fall on their lap. But is that person really communicating that, or is that just a misunderstanding on the listener's behalf? I mean, let's be real. Is a battleship less powerful because it has an anchor? The ship is going to get tossed to and fro, but the anchor is going to be able to solidify it in one place so that it can weather the storm, as opposed to this wishy-washy, rabbit's foot, luck drawn type of perception. No one's saying that they want things to fall on their lap. And if you are using hope in that way, then you are wrong. Hope is something that we also work with. Hope doesn't do the work for us. But let's talk about this. We tend to rob the power of hope when we sit back and just expect things to happen. I don't know if you guys have ever watched the movie Evan Almighty, right? Evan Almighty, kind of like a modern day depiction of Noah. And in one scene, the wife happens to be at the restaurant and she's talking to an individual who is playing the role of God. And he asks a simple question. If you pray to God and ask Him to give you patience, do you think He just gives it to you, or does He give you an opportunity to be patient? Likewise, just like this movie, I'm saying hope is the same way. Hope just doesn't come across an individual and make that individual wish come true. No, hope is something that we work towards, that we obtain. One psychologist by the name of Charles Snyder said this about hope. Hopefulness is a life-giving human strength. That seems very contrary to what the world thinks of hope. Another psychologist, a good friend of mine, Dr. Greg Pitaro, and you can find his information in the description down below. He says, we were made to move forward. Hope is that. Hope is us working towards what we were made for, which is moving forward. I remember being in Hawaii and being woken up in the middle of the night by these awesome Hawaiians. And they woke me up and they're like, hey, bro, you want to go fishing? And I said, yes, absolutely. Let's do it. So they put us in the back of a pickup truck, me and these other guys, and we go fishing. Now, as we're getting closer to the fishing destination, it sounds like there's a train, a massive train just running through the island of Oahu. But it wasn't a train. They were driving us close to this cliff, this horseshoe type cliff with a little center type plank of a stone in the middle of this U shape. They said, bro, do you want to be Hawaiian? I said, absolutely. I love the culture. I love everything about it. Bob, don't be disrespecting me, bro, because I already know I'm big like a Hawaiian. All right? But yo, you don't want me to scrap like a Hawaiian, bro. Like if you surfing on some territory that you shouldn't be surfing on, all right? I'll get straight sovereignty warrior on you, just straight AI. I'm don't make me. But I'm out here, and mind you, I had just had surgery on my leg, and I got this mechanical like knee brace thing going on. And they said, if you want to be Hawaiian, you're gonna have to catch a fish. And I go, I've never fished before. They go, whoa, that's how you're gonna become Hawaiian. You got to catch a fish. So I'm walking towards an area and they stop me. They have to yell because it's so loud. These waves are crashing against these rocks. And they're like, no, bro, you out there. And they point towards this little plank of a rock out there. Waves are crashing against this rock and going over this little plank thing. And I don't swim. Yes, I float. Sometimes. So I go out to this plank and I start casting out. At one point in time, a wave crashes, it hits me, I fall, and I grab onto this slippery rock and I get back up and I keep casting. In the background, they go, hey bro, when you fall in, don't swim towards the rocks. And I'm like, when? Shouldn't it be if? And if you fall in, you're not giving me much hope right now, bro. Fast forward, I caught a fish that big. And it was awesome. An awesome moment of persevering through the storm, knowing that at the end of it, all I had to do while I was working was hope for the best. I didn't fall in and I didn't die, but I caught me a small fish. They gave me the name Kaleo Ahi, the bringer of fire, partially because I caught an ahi fish, but mostly because I spit flames. During this, I realized that this had a lot to do and correlate with my journey scholastically. All I've ever wanted to do was be successful, and not success in the financial sense, but like I wanted my family to be proud of my accomplishments. So after high school, I dreamt about going to college, but realized that statistically I wasn't meant for college, right? Like I grew up in an inner city, lower middle class home, not literally impoverished, but borderline. I wasn't meant for college, but I knew that there was something more. Let's talk about it a little bit. When thinking about hope, I think about what Snyder talked about. I think about putting hope into action so that individuals don't think or forget that, so that I don't become complacent and just waiting for something to fall on my lap. So how did I put hope into action? I did three things. Number one, I set a goal. I said, you know what? I want to do something better for myself than just graduating high school. So I said that I want to go to a higher learning institution. And because of that, I started to look at higher learning institutions. And I so happened to look at one private school out in Ohio that I thought were going to let me in just because of my charm. I was wrong. They denied me 3 times. But that was my goal, and I kept getting at it. I applied, and I became persistent, and I kept getting at it. Number two, you have to have pathways type thinking. All right, what does that mean? That means that you have to have strategies to obtain your goal. What are the strategies that you're going to apply to obtain your higher goal? So my strategy to obtain the goal of getting into a higher learning institution was number one, apply. Number two, apply myself. Number three, know my limitations. And number four, once I've reached my limitations, ask for help. That's called humility. I failed a lot, but I was not a failure. Check out my video that I did on failure so it can help you distinguish whether you really failed at something or you just came across a small little snafu. Number three is agency thinking. What is that? Well, we already know we've set a goal. We already know that we have to have that pathways way of thinking. We have to set strategies. But the third is what happens when you have run out of steam with your strategy? What motivation do you have to get forward? ultimately it should be your end game. It should go back to your goal. If I hit walls on my pathways, then I need to just get over those because I have an ultimate goal to obtain. These 3 tips helped me out a lot. How did they help me out? Not only did I graduate from high school, but after 3 rejection letters, I was finally accepted to the university in which I applied on a provisional acceptance. And then I proved to them that I was about that life. I graduated from that university. And once I graduated and settled down, and me and my girlfriend got married, I went on and got another degree. Once you know that you can apply yourself, then what it is that you are hoping for will manifest itself. Hope isn't just going to drop what you want on your lap. Hope isn't this Will Smith Aladdin genie thing, okay? You don't get 3 wishes with hope. Allow it to be the anchor as you're sailing. Let it be what holds you down. My hope wasn't in my family or in anyone. It wasn't in the institution in which I graduated from. The 2 institutions that I graduated from. It was in Jesus, my true anchor. The person that in the midst of all my storms kept me in place, knowing that I will get to my destination, but I had to weather the storm. And that anchor helped me out. Hope doesn't disappoint. And the unfortunate reality is that the world has made it something disappointing. Our God doesn't function like that. Our God knows good and well what He has planned for your life. And you can hope and reach for the stars. And He will always be a person that will provide you the opportunity to get there. You need to trust that He's going to get you there. But you also need to work to get there. This is your boy 210. Hope doesn't disappoint, and hopefully this video did not. And remember, real recognize real. Be authentically you, and never, ever let the fake dictate how you live your life. You know, energy. Ugh. I hope you know what I'm about to talk about. So stupid. So why isn't hope So why isn't hope often looked at as an anchor and not necessarily just kind of this wishbone, leprechaun-y type thing, opposed to this wishy-washy, run-of-the-mill? I don't even know if that. One psychologist by the name of Charles. I hate when I mess up. So how? Oh my gosh, that happened again. That's the second time. There's always me mugging. Not like he has to do anything. He just stands there the whole time. Right? He could be a little bit more supportive. You know what? Maybe I don't need you anymore. I might just go get a punching bag. No, for real. It probably looks better too. Whatever. You say what you want, bro. You say what you want. I'll just put you out on the curb. I don't. I'll get some tires. I'll just punch some tires. I'm pretty sure I gotta change the tires in my car anyway. That's all I'm saying. You are replaceable.